Hello and welcome to this tutorial. As you already know, this tutorial is about If I Can't Have You by Shawn Mendes. This song is based on G and E minor, at least most of the time, so there's no need to change the key or to use a capo. What I changed is the second verse, because it's not very different to the first verse. I decided to repeat the first verse and put it in place of the second. So that means there are still 4 different parts in this song or this arrangement, starting with the chorus. Okay, the chorus starts on G. Put your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string and your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and then play the low E string, the open G string and the B string all together. That's the first chord. Then play the B string 2 more times. Put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the low E string. Play it with your thumb. And then play B string 1 more time. Sounds like this. Now the melody has always the same rhythm, and in between there's the bass note. That's the first bar. Now the second bar, play the open E string and again the open G string and the B string with your ring finger on the 3rd fret again. For the right hand, it's thumb, index finger and middle finger. Now, next is the open B string, then again back on the 3rd fret of the B string, and again your index finger on the 2nd fret of the low E string, and play it together with the high E string, open high E string. It's the thumb of your right hand and the ring finger, and followed by the middle finger on the 2nd fret of the high E string. Oops, I'm sorry. Sounds like this. First the E, and now double time. 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's the rhythm. Next is the G again, and there's no change here. Play it the same way you did in the beginning. And next up is the E minor. Again, low E string, G string, both open, and the B string with your ring finger on the 3rd fret. And the only difference is the ring finger stays on the B string. So it's pretty much the same like we did before. Now the first 4 bars all together. Now we're back on G. And the only difference is now the third note is an open B string. We played it as like this before. Now in this case you have to play an open B string and the rest is the same. Back to E minor, and again keep your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string like you did in the 4th bar. No change here, and then this comes up next. Index finger on the 5th fret of the high E string and ring finger on the 7th fret of the of the B string. I'm sorry, and pick the open D, the open G, and the B and the E string. Put your pinky on the 7th fret of the high E string, then again the B string on the 7th fret, and back to the 5th fret of the low of the high E string. One and 2 and all notes the same rhythm, and down to the 3rd fret of the B string. Now with your middle finger and your ring finger is located on the 4th fret of the D string. Play the D string, the B string and the open E string together. Index finger on the 2nd fret of the E string, then again the B string and the open E string. Same rhythm, 3 and 4 and. Now to the last bar of the chorus, index and middle finger both on the 2nd fret of the D and the G string, play them both together, then play the G string one more time and put your ring finger or your pinky, doesn't matter the way you like it. I use my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string and play this note one time. It sounds like this. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. That is the whole chorus. Next up is the verse. The verse starts on G as well. Put your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string. Pick it with your thumb, then the open D string picked by the index finger, back on the low E string, and again the open D string. The rhythm of it is like this. So those 3 notes, the open D string, low E string and the open D string, play them fast. Then index finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, pinky on the 4th fret of the D string, and do a pull off 4th fret to the 2nd fret. Play the open D string and pick the A string on the 2nd fret with your middle finger. Now that's the first bar of the verse. On to F sharp minor. It sounds like this. It's just the index finger and the middle finger both on the 2nd fret of the low E and the D string. Pick them together, and then first the low E string and the D string. Again, back to the low E string, followed by the open A string. And next is the open D string and again the A string on the 2nd fret. First 2 bars. Now, next up is E minor. It's just the open low E string and the 2nd fret of the D string. Now the same rhythm as before. That means low E string and D string together, followed by the low E string and the D string, back to the low E string, and on to the open A string. Now I play the D string with my index finger, and I play the low E string and the A string with my thumb. Then pick the A string 2 times. Next up the open D string and back on the A string on the 2nd fret. The next bar starts again on E minor. It's again low E string and the D string on the 2nd fret, both notes picked together, and then pick the low A string and the D string, go back to the low E string. You did it before, it sounds like this. And then middle finger on the 2nd fret of low E string, pick it together with the open A string. It sounds like this. Again the E string, open D string, and back on the to the E string. The whole bar sounds like this. Now the first 4 bars of the verse all together. And then on to G again. It's played the same way like we did in the beginning of the verse. It's all the same. On to F sharp minor. Again, it's the same like we did before. Now comes E minor. And there's one little change here. Play the open A string only one time and then play the rest. We played the open A string 2 times before. We did like this. And now it sounds like this. The rest is the same. And now on to the last bar. It's again the E minor. With this rhythm we did it before as well. And now put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the low E string, play the open A string, play them both together. And finally 2 more times of the low E string. Now the last 4 bars of the verse. Like the chorus and the verse, the pre-chorus starts on G as well. Again, put your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string and add your index finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and then pick the low E, the open D and the G string all together. That's the start of the pre-chorus, followed by the bass note again and 3 more times of the open D string. Sounds like this: 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. On to the next chord, index finger on the 2nd fret of the low E string, open D string and middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. All 3 notes picked together. Then open G string and pinky on the 4th fret of the D string. Sounds like this. Then index and middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A and the D string, picked together, and followed by the open D string 2 times. Now those 2 bars. E minor, it's open E string, open D string, and the G string with your middle finger on the second fret, and then again the root, and 3 more times of the open D string. Pretty much the same rhythm like in the first bar of the pre-chorus. And then again, pick the low E string, the D string, and the G string, followed by the open D string, and then again your pinky on the 4th fret of the G string, and index finger and middle finger both on the 2nd fret of the low E and the D string. Next is the open D string and the open B string. Sounds like this. Now the first 4 bars now. And next up is the G again. Middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, index finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and your pinky on the 4th fret of the D string. I'm sorry. Then again, low E string and the open D string 2 times. Now with it. On to F sharp minor. Again, index finger, low E string, middle finger on the G string, pick the low E, the D and the G string, and in this bar it's all the same we did on F sharp minor before. You did it before, and then back to G, index finger, middle finger on the 3rd bar of the low E string, and your ring finger on the 3rd bar of the B string. Pick the E string, the open D string, and the B string together, and then open high E string, open B string, and back on the 3rd fret of the B string. And then again, index finger on the 2nd fret of the low E string. Now the middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, picked together, followed by the open B string and your pinky on the 4th fret of the D string. Or the whole bar. Followed by the open E string and the open D string, both picked together. Then again the G string open, and put your ring finger on the 5th fret of the A string and slide down from there. Sounds like this. And that's the pre-chorus. From here you go to the chorus, play it 2 times, followed by the verse again the pre-chorus, and again the chorus, and the chorus again 2 times, and from there we go to the bridge. The bridge starts, guess what, on G again. Middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, followed by the open D string, then pinky on the 4th fret of the B string, of the D string, and the index finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. And repeat those 4 notes. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and then index finger on the 2nd fret of the low E string, and again open D string, 4th fret of the D string and 2nd fret, again with pinky and middle finger. Now put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, followed by the open D string 2 times, and then again the pinky on the 4th fret of the D string and the index finger on the 2nd fret. Like this. The whole bar sounds like this. First 2 bars. And then ring finger on the 4th fret of the D string, picked together with the open low E string, index finger, 2nd fret G string, back on the 4th fret of the D string, and index finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. Followed by 2nd fret of the D string and the open low E string. And next up, the open D string. 1 and 2 and 3 and next bar starts the same way. Ring finger on the 4th fret of the D string, picked together with the low E string. Then again the 2nd fret of the G string, back to the 4th fret of the D string, and from here slide down with your ring finger into the 2nd fret. One and 2 and put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the low E string, pick it together with the 2nd fret of the D string, and then play the open D string 2 more times. That's the first 4 bars of the bridge. Now the next 2 bars are the same bars like the first and the second. There's no change, and the bridge ends like the chorus does with this riff. From there we go back to the chorus, we play the chorus 2 more times, and that's how this song ends. It really ends with this run. And that's it. That's the whole song, and that's my whole arrangement, and that's my whole tutorial. I hope you like it, and I hope I see you next time. Bye bye.